welcome to another installment of virtual tastings here at Henry & Son with me, Jill Mott. I wore my Qvevri clay vessel necklace, especially for this occasion, to channel the amazing energy that is clay, and the Republic of Georgia for that matter, to this segment. I'm going to jump right in because I am crazy for clay. This practice of making wine in clay is nothing new. It dates actually back to about 6,000 BCE. And this image that I took 5 or 6 years ago from the Republic of Georgia, 8,000 years old this pot is, that once contained wine. It was found in southern Georgia, eastern Georgia, just very close to the capital of Tbilisi. And so, of course, I wanted to feature some wines that are made in clay from the Republic of Georgia, but also from beyond, and where clay has traveled in the world today. I guess first I should mention, you're probably asking, yeah, okay, well, why clay, Jill, instead of barrels or instead of stainless steel? Clay is one of the not only the oldest, but one of the smartest vessels for making wine. Why? Because there are minute little holes that allow for the wine to breathe and oxygenate naturally. And so if we think of us all in April during the pandemic, and you just wanted to get outside, in this case, the wine gets a chance to spread out a little bit, breathe, get some freshness, get some complexity, get some to file those edges without getting the same effect can happen in oak, but it can happen faster in oak, less controlled by the walls itself of the barrel, but also it imparts that oaky flavor, right? That vanilla. Well, you don't have that with clay. Second of all, usually clay pots have like some bulbous sides. And so the carbon dioxide that is formed during fermentation just creates like this even ferment that, the bubbles come up, the CO2 comes up, and they fall down, and they sort of keep the fermentation, the yeasts alive naturally, which is amazing. Lastly, it's its own temperature control mechanism. Those thick walls allow for when the wine gets really hot because of the fermentation getting hot and heavy. This allows for the entire ferment to cool because of those walls. Now, fast forward, you get the cellar gets cool in the fall and winter, and early spring months. That fermentation just stays just warm enough to keep going because it insulates as well. So it's just a smart vessel all around, and dates, obviously, 8,000 years is a lot of time to get size, etc. right. So we'll start with the Republic of Georgia here. This is a producer called Chotiashvili. And Chotiashvili, they are located in the far eastern part of Georgia, a region called Kakheti, which Kakheti is, they produce about 80+% of the country's wines. And here, the owner is doing 3 different grapes, but we have 2 here at the shop. Saperavi is the main red grape that is in that region. And Saperavi is a teinturier, meaning if you were to splice it, not only do you have color in the skins, but you have color in the flesh as well. So it's a very dark grape, it's very tannic, thick skins. And in Georgia, they put Saperavi in what they call Qvevri. Qvevri is their word for their earthenware vessel that dates back, I think, to 3000 BCE, something like that. And in this case, it's on the skins for about a month. If they were to leave it any more time, that tannin level would be so high, the wine would be so thick. It's such a burly wine in and of itself. Native yeast goes without saying with all of these wines, and many of the wines here at the shop, but it's bottled unfiltered. And if you want a thick, meaty, crazy wine, Saperavi is the wine for you. And one of the older flavors that we have for wine in the shop and in the world, actually, are wines from the Republic of Georgia made in this way. Next, I'll talk about a grape called Mutswane. It's with a V. A lot of times the V is pronounced like a W. Also done in Qvevri. And this is Mutswane when you don't have Qvevri at all. Mutswane, just in a kind of different pure form, very clean form, is kind of waxy, kind of thick, kind of fleshy. And so when you macerate this, the kind of recipe in Kakheti is to do 6 months of full-on skin contact. So this is crazy orange wine, unfiltered, native yeast, all organic fruit. And when you drink this, it's going to be a little funky, just a touch barnyardy, a little bit like just a lot of outdoor amazing smells. And this is the birthplace of modern day orange wine, is the Republic of Georgia. The northern Italians and Slovenians got their inspiration from the Georgians. And so this is a window into the oldest, now that orange wines are all the rage. This is the inspiration for that, which is really cool. So check out Chotiashvili and their incredible Saperavi and Mutsuane, some of the oldest flavors we have in the world. Next, one of my favorite wines in the shop. This is from a producer called Sant Or, and they're located in Greece, in the Peloponnese. Peloponnese is that little landmass that kind of looks like a hand down in southwestern Greece, home of Kalamata olives, for you olive lovers, by the way. And what I love about this is this guy, I got to actually look at my notes because to be able to pronounce it correctly. Panagiotis Dimitropoulos. Yeah, say that fast 5 times. He is growing all biodynamic fruit, no irrigation. What's crazy about that is he's growing incredible grapes like the very rare Santa Mariana. Now, Santa Mariana, I've only ever tasted it like 2 or 3 times, not this version, and it has this beautiful kind of like daffodil water meets a little bit of rose water, but then very typical kind of like a little bit earthy, kind of Pinot Grigio crisp, the way it's crisp. And Santa Mariana is just a really strange, very rare grape, and he's doing it in 200-year-old Greek amphora. That's right. He found some amphora. He's fermenting it for 20 days on the skins, so another orange wine. Very clean, really beautiful. If you haven't had orange wines and you want an introduction, this is a little bit beyond an introduction. It's got a little funk, but it's just a beautiful wine. The floral notes in the back are just ever so present. You know, they're definitely not the star of the show. It's a dry wine. It's got really nice, soft, medium acidity, and a very lengthy finish. Goes great with curries and goes really well with, of course, Mediterranean fare. Very low sulfur additions, all native yeasts, of course, not filtered. And when the wine, after it ferments, he ages it outside in these clay pots to be at the mercy of the temperature changes on the northern part of the Peloponnese, which is really cool. One of my favorite wines in the shop. I've been very fond of this wine for a year plus, so get some Santa Mariana while you can. Last but not least, this little guy from a friend, Francois Morissette. Now, Francois Morissette, his outfit is called Pearl Morissette. They're located north of us here in Minnesota, well, northeast, I should say, in the Niagara Peninsula in Ontario, in Canada. And this is a cool rendition to showcase how amphora can be used in clay in combination with other vessels. So he takes Riesling and he ferments that in stainless steel. So you get some nice cut, it's very crisp, and then he blends that with some Chardonnay that's aged in concrete and some old oak. So freshness, but then there's some very elegant tones to it. And then Gewürztraminer, 6 months on the skins in amphora, which is like crazy because you take that flowery, waxy, Gewürzy thing that a lot of people may not like and turn it into like dry and just all these crazy like umami notes that the clay really resonated well with the Gewürz and vice versa. And it's, you know, a medium to full-bodied package for a white wine. It's beautiful. It's got nice cut. I'm saying beautiful like 700 times because I'm just like all about the beauty in these clay numbers right now, I guess. It's really interesting and a lot of complexity. We don't see many Canadian wines on our shores, and when we do, they're not made in a more of an organic and a natural vein. So this is a really nice opportunity for you to taste it. It's not inexpensive. It's $39, but I think it's every penny worth it. Treat yourself. Enjoy some wines made in clay, folks, and check out the size of the kiln these things are fired in. From Hourglass Cheers, be safe. Cheers, everyone.